What makes a place feel like a home to you?
When I think of a place that's home, I think of a place where you feel really connected to the community, you feel like you matter.
I would say a place that I've been adjusted to, that I understand, where I'm engaged with the community, I'm part of the community.
The people, like having the comfort of seeing the same people that you know really well.
I think it really have to be like the people.
Definitely loved ones.
The people that you surround yourself with.
To have people around you that you're comfortable with.
Home. I would say being comfortable in that place. I'd also say there's like a feeling that you get when you're at home, and it's only something that you know.
And I see all the lights of the city, like that always like gets me really excited because I've always felt so close to New York City. The city is my home.
Just the memories associated.
Once you have family and memories, you can kind of make a new place a home or develop a sense of home in any place you are.
Where I'm from is so far away. I think friends really makes a home.
Like, I mean, it's cliched when people say like home is where the heart is, but it's kind of true. Like, if you feel at ease and peace in a place, I feel like you could call that home.
What comes to your mind when you hear the word Lewiston?
First, Bates, just because that's what brought me here.
I think of Bates, and I think of Forage.
The city I went to, or I am currently going to college in.
Honestly, I picture the cathedral, and I picture the river.
Lewiston for me has become a home. Kind of a rough beauty is what I think about when I think of Lewiston. I love the churches, the garbage, the mud on the streets, especially now as the snow is melting.
I think of a lot of the roads here since I'm on the track team.
Lewiston. Bates College, Dirty Lou, that's always famous. Mills, Franco-Americans.
I picture a lot of alcoholism. I buy stuff in the Lewiston Variety Store, and there's a lot of people that come in at all times during the day and buy beer and seem kind of drunk, so.
Kind of run down, maybe a little bit, like heroin, staying away a little bit.
Has your experience in Lewiston been that, or do you think it's changed over time?
So I haven't really even had that much of an experience overall. I remember one time, me and my friend were biking around. We were biking back towards Bates when there was this whole thing with cops and Lewiston people, and there was a fight, and we were just kind of oh, wow.
When I think of Lewiston, I think a lot about the refugees from Somalia.
For some reason I think a lot about the Somali culture here. I don't know why.
The Somali population that has come in.
As a Bates student, do you feel like it's your place to step into Lewiston and interact with the town?
Yeah, and I think Bates students should make a stronger effort to interact with people in Lewiston. We're all part of this one community. We live here, and we're part of Lewiston. We all are. So yes, we can go out in the town, we can interact.
For my volunteering thing for my CEL, I taught English to some of the adult refugees, and I feel like that kind of gave me a new perspective on a different group in Lewiston.
As a Bates student, you are a member of the community. You can vote in Lewiston. I think you should feel comfortable being able to go and interact with Lewiston.
So it's definitely a balance. And some of the things we've done, especially partying, maybe trashing some of their neighborhoods, or being too loud, maybe being offensive or intrusive.
We can all treat each other like people that we are living on this planet and not have any weird tension. That's what I think. We should just all respect each other.
Have you ever had any memorable experiences in Lewiston?
Sometimes when I'm out, I've made an effort to talk to Lewiston residents just because I'm curious about how they feel about the Bates and Lewiston relations. And the responses I got were interesting and not really what I expected. One guy that I talked to felt that Bates students really weren't a problem in the Lewiston community, talking to them, but he was just kind of fed up with the tension he experienced with other people and how issues would just randomly be provoked.
But one time me and Amelia went into I forget the name of it, but it's this French bistro in downtown Lewiston, and it was honestly some of the best food ever. So I feel like that just goes to show you that Lewiston has like a lot of hidden gems that you just have to find.
I feel like it's a little bit of a diamond in the rough. A lot of people give it a hard time, but personally, I love it.
On Fridays, when I go to the mosque, it's like a bunch of people from Lewiston, and I'd say like 90% of the people there are Somalis. So that is pretty interesting. I mean, I made a bunch of friends. I mean, not friends, I'll call them, but acquaintances. And I've met people at the Goose.
Do you think the place that you grew up has an impact on what you feel like can be home to you now?
Yeah, I'd say absolutely. Obviously in Maine, and I spent a lot of time, like every single day when I would get off the bus, I can still remember, I would go back and there's a creek that runs behind my house, and I would go to the creek. I'd say that like to be at home, I need to be at a place where there's a lot of nature.
Have you ever felt like you'd be uncomfortable being in Lewiston? I know there's like a lot of stigma around it. Like people say the dirty Lou. Like, what's your take on that?
I can see why some people might feel uncomfortable because personally for me, like I grew up in like a small town in like a suburban part of Mass. So Lewiston's definitely a bit more urban than I'm used to, but I don't really feel like there's a need to like be uncomfortable because it really doesn't have that high of a crime rate. And the townspeople are pretty friendly. So I can see why people might feel that way, but I don't really think it's necessary. I think it's more just like a prejudice almost.
I was walking into Lewiston once, my normal route, and then I went a completely different way and just got lost in the middle. And yeah, I felt comfortable. I felt totally fine. It was just like I was lost, but it's like a place I know at this point.
Do you think you were always comfortable walking there?
Yeah, I think so. I've never felt like unsafe.
I have had pretty much only but positive experiences. I've spent time at the elementary schools. I've loved the kids there. I think anywhere where you see kids running around, like, you know it's a safe place. It's well loved. To me, that is like the sign of a happy, healthy place.
I mean, people sometimes come up and start talking to you, but I think you just engage back. I don't ever feel uncomfortable with it now.
And if you just smile across the street, you're so fine.